Last week, I promised you a surprise that is gonna be revealed a week after, and this is the week after. So, before I'm gonna show you, I just want to point out very quickly, we're not gonna go through all the same stuff every time because it's boring. We know we have the 1.8 20 valve turbo conversion, which is, I think, as a balance goes, this is the best option for the mk2 because they are very good engines, very reliable, very powerful. If you just want a nice car, improved mk2 because they have very crappy engines. Just standard BAM engine to 25 brakes, remapped to 70 to 80 brakes, and they drive beautifully. You put controls on it, and the engines are good for over 500 brakes. Anyways, that is very simple. You know, we have the whole kit, everything you need to put one on, everything is covered, done, finished, great. Then we came up with the VR6. VR6 was a bit of a it was a bit of a question mark because on the internet there were only few of them, only a couple of them, and none of them they were right. Some of them they had to be modified with the subframe, a massive chunk of subframe, which is already a weak part of this car, very weak part. I come to this in a second. Had to be chopped up, which I don't like it. The engine had to be moved back massively, hence obviously the chopped subframe, and again the position of the engine didn't like it. The second one I was built, turbo one, which looks very nice outside, I have to say, because the guy actually extended the body, kind of moved everything. He had to move the struts for the suspension from here to about here. He moved the fenders, the arches on the back, but outside it looks very tidy. However, it was a lot of work. We had to modify the chassis legs because that is a space for the drive shaft. When he moved the engine so much back, there was no more space there. You couldn't use the subframe anymore. It was way too much work. It was just not worth it, and the result I didn't like it because it's not very viable. Fair play for him, he's some kid doing stuff in his driveway, and for what he achieved, yeah, fair play, good job. But that's not something I could offer to the customers. It's not something I would do myself. So it was a bit of a question mark, but then he was like, well, I bet you can fit it. It's like, well, I don't know, let me try. And this is the result. It fits. Don't need to chop anything besides the bulkhead, like we already shown. Nothing structural to remove. The bulkhead is something easy. It's something very common on these engines when people raise them with different engine swaps. V6 has even K20s when you don't have to chop the bulkhead off, but people prefer to do it anyway because it's such an easy job, and then they give you such a good access to the front of the engine. 1.8 absolutely not needed because it fits so beautifully. You can even remove the plenum with the engine in place and everything in place, just access to everything. Hence I say this is the 1.8 is probably the best of them all as a balance. This is just we're doing more stuff because I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know, because it's cool. This is how we started, and we fitted the 1.9 in my Frog, 1.9 TDI, and then 1.8, and then stuff escalated very, very quickly, and we work answers of the past couple of years been very, very stressful and busy. You don't see this on the videos and on forums and posts on Facebook, but behind all of these jobs, and there is a man who can't sleep anymore. Only I'm not shitting you, that's true. Anyways, so we done the VR6 with the 6-speed gearbox manual, and then we tried with the DSG as well. Then it wasn't enough, so we said, okay, it has to be turbo. And then we decided to put one in the car that we're gonna sell, which is this job. The VR5 DSG gearbox, this is my setup. This is actually not the engine that is gonna stay in this car, because we were talking with Steve, and I'm kind of double-minded to build the first MRS 300 or the MRS 500. Two different setups. The 300 is on the manual gearbox, and you can either use the 1.8 20 valve turbo or the VR5, but we're gonna build the 1.8 turbo because it's the easiest, the cheapest, the quickest, the best of the balance. That's gonna be, and this I think, I'm not 100% convinced yet, but I think I'm gonna do the MRS 500 on a DSG gearbox with a bigger turbo. Obviously not this plan on, because again, not even the engine is gonna stay the same. We already have a decompressed engine and IP balls all ready for boost. So the reason why I think I'm inclined to do MRS 500 is because a lot of people are asking for the SG, how to wire up, have you done it? It's like, no, honestly, we have not used the SG gearbox yet. But it's not something new. A lot of people done it all over the place, all over the internet, all over the world. And apparently it's quite easy. There is a company who sells standalone controllers just for the gearboxes, regardless of the ECU using, even aftermarket one or the standard ECU. Also aftermarket ECUs, the majority of those ECUs, they can now manage the engine and the gearbox together. So a lot of options. However, me haven't actually done it myself, I cannot advise from experience. So I need experience. So fuck it. MRS 500, DSG, I'm gonna do it. Obviously not gonna do it for me, I'm gonna do it for you. Let's put it this way. No, honestly, it's like I really like those 6-speed manuals. I love them because they're very good. But I'm not gonna go through that. This is not the video about this. This is the video about the surprise. Now I said about the subframe. They are this weak spot anyway on the subframes, on the mk3s. You can see they rust very quickly. This one, surprisingly, believe it or not, this is actually in a good state. Believe it or not, this is actually one of the best we've seen. They do rust quite badly, and they're gonna rust on all of them. Actually, to show you this is actually a good one, let me show you mine, which, look how this is mint, right? Looks very good. There's nothing wrong with it. It's blank and it's looking good. There's no rust. Well, look at that. You will be wrong, honestly. This is because the exhaust goes on this side, and obviously it's a hot spot, there's a lot of steam, so this part is way more exposed to corrosion from water, because again, it's low. Now, the reason for that is because these subframes, they are actually made in tin foil. Obviously very, very thin material. You can see it yourself. And they are not protected from the rust at all. Not at all, you see? This is, it looks good, look at it. It looks good. And yet, and this is structural. This will not pass MOT. You don't want to use it. Well, this is still all right, kind of ish from what we've seen, but it's not. It's just a weak spot. Very weak spot. Also, another weak spot of this is that they flex torsionally. When you, K20s, for example, they have a very similar mounting system to what we do. They brace the subframe here, but they all know that under acceleration, when you have a lot of power, these subframes, they actually flex. I don't know if it's true or not, but I read someone on the forums, again on the K20 swaps in America, there's someone actually managed to bend the subframe permanently because it flexes so badly, because there's no structure in this. It just looks good, blah, blah, but it's now, they're not strong. Also, when you see, obviously these are mounting points for the arms, for the hubs. And when you have a lot of rubber and all that stuff, the forces that push in this towards that direction kind of flexes, make the subframe flex even more. So this is very, very bad for obviously driving as well, because the suspension mounting points, the structure, the chassis is part of the chassis, should not flex, you know. And then some people say there is bump steer. They're very known for the bump steer. Strangely, this kind of problem never came out till someone actually offered a solution for this well-known problem. I drove these. I never felt that problem. Steve drove his one, and he's not fucking about. Lots of rubber, lots of power, not such a problem. Of course, when you got a lot of power, the car moves when you're shifting, because you're moving a very lightweight car with a lot of power. Then I spoke with few people in America who races them seriously, and I say, well, if there is such a thing, we're not even aware of it because this doesn't feel like. So, but again, it's sometimes, there could be diversion. Sometimes I've seen this in politics. You create a problem to offer a solution to the problem that never existed in the first place, but you convince people they do because they actually don't know. They had the problem in the first place, but they want to do it as a prevention, but they're not even able to feel if there is a problem or not. Same for this snapped oversteer, no such a thing. mk2, mk3, Spider, Roadster, whatever, there's no such a thing as a snap oversteer. We can drive these cars perfectly. They are very neutral, they're very responsible. People who, I'm sorry for saying this, but this is true, people who cannot drive them, who cannot drive at all, you know, is a rear wheel engine car, rear wheel drive car, you know, it goes sideways if you want to, especially on a wet. Again, we drive them. Snap oversteer because you have no control and you blame something that doesn't exist. Right, okay, we see this all the time. And I'm wondering if this problem that people mentioning, again, since someone offered a solution to the problem, in my opinion, doesn't exist, could be just an invention. Again, I don't know. From what I know so far, it doesn't exist. From what I talk to people, it doesn't exist. Maybe they feel something, but it doesn't come from the oversteer. Maybe they feel the subframe flexing and changing the geometry because it would change the geometry. Obviously, because if you move these points in a little bit, you change the toe of your wheels. So it may do that. I don't know. I have to be honest. I'm not going to talk rubbish. I'm not going to say something I'm not 100% convinced. So, but again, so far, there was an issue. And even people who raised them seriously for years. So, I don't know. But then again, people who raised them may don't know this stuff, but people who just bought them and, you know, listen to some Joe on the internet may say, yeah, it's a huge problem. You can't drive them. It's not oversteer, you know, they're undrivable. Well, for some reason, these are one of the best handling chassis in the world. Japanese guys love them. Tog Racing is one of these, is the win over any other car. You know, people in America absolutely love to drive them, to race them against big cars, way more expensive cars, Porsches and Ferraris and race cars and all that stuff. And none of them complain about that stuff. But again, Joe says that is a problem and is a solution for it. Have you ever felt it? Yeah, absolutely. It's a snap oversteer. All right, enough of the rant. Anyways, because I'm not 100% convinced, because again, I only talk facts when I find my facts. I can talk to people, I can hear the experiences. That doesn't mean I know 100%. So we're gonna do a couple of tests to actually find out what's going on. If that is actually the problem, it doesn't seem like, but let's make sure 100%. I like physics, science, I like engineering, so mechanics proves everything. Or it's just the actually subframe flexes and changes the geometry, because that, I can guarantee you, it does change the geometry a little bit. Will that be enough to make you feel something? I don't know. We can find out. Or we could just create a solution for the subframe from stop the subframe from flexing and from rusting, and fuck it, I'm just gonna show you. There you go. Well, you've probably seen this on Facebook already, but there you go. Now, this is not the final product. This looks like a final product, almost as good, because this is mild steel. We're gonna build them. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna show you how this is gonna look like, because I wanted this to be mild because it's easy to make adjustments if I need to, or corrections or whatever, because mild steel is very much easier to work with than stainless. The stainless we're using, I'm going to tell you in a minute, is the same stainless we're using for our engine mounts. And this is how it looks like. This is the stainless color roll, and these are the kind of welds we're going to put on them. Exactly like this. So imagine all that subframe with hundreds of these welds everywhere, and the color of this subframe as raw stainless, like this. You know, this is our engine mount, for example. This is how it looks like. So it's gonna be beautiful. Again, not everyone has to like it. I understand there's no chance you can please everyone, but I think we're gonna please 99% of people because of the structural design, because of there's absolutely no flexibility. If you look inside, there are reinforcements inside, torsional reinforcements. There is no movement in any direction of the subframe. It supports the engine or the gearbox mount, if you want to say it this way. This has no possibility to flex this way, and it has no possibility to flex that way. This will just not flex, just no chance. You're gonna smash, crash, bend the chassis, do whatever in a massive crash before this even moves a single millimeter. So there you go. Now, people say, again, we put it on the internet a couple of days ago, and some people said, oh, isn't this over-engineered? Yeah, absolutely. You're 100%. I'm not being sarcastic. You're absolutely right. This is over-engineered. Why is it over-engineered? Well, because you can under-engineer stuff. You can over-engineer stuff. You can have a, this is good enough. But this is not what we do. What I like to do, what we like to offer to the market is the best product we could possibly design with the best material we could possibly design for the job it has to do. If it's way better than it should be, then it's good. If it's way better than it should be, that is enough to be, and that upsets you, well, this is the thing. You can buy the standard one, you can buy a better one, or you can buy the top quality one, the best one. The market has 3 different options, because I know someone else makes them. I've seen them, someone posted the pictures, blue ones, they made in mild steel out of square tubes, MIG welded with powder coating, and they have these adjustments for the roll center. Might agree or not agree on it. Again, I need to do my tests. That's fine. That's kind of like in between. And then there is this one. So there is something for everyone. That's the beauty. When companies make products, they don't always have to compete against each other. You have to understand this. If someone brings one type of the product, if another company wants to get in the market for the same kind of product, the same application, do a different kind of product, a different quality, a different material, over-engineered if you want to say so. So the customer has a choice. So there's no competition, there's a market for everyone, and everyone is happy. The companies are happy, customers are happy, everyone is good. That's the best way to do it. My opinion, this is the way I do this stuff. Now, is it over-engineered as a structure? Absolutely, but again, if you want to race, if you want to just have something cool or whatever, this is the product you want to go. If you want something in between, you have a potential to buy something in between. If you want to get something like under-engineered and very cheap, get a standard one. I'm not saying that is a piece of crap, then you shouldn't buy it. Buy whatever you want to buy. We offering this product. If you like it, buy it. If you don't like it, no one is forcing you. Simple. That's to answer a couple of these questions. And again, this is about 1 or 2% of people, because 90% of people were like, fucking, this is great. He's like, yeah, I know. I know, I love it as well. This is gonna be like the first one of these is gonna go in my car. There's no doubt it. It's like, I absolutely love it. It's like, I'm not gonna design something I'm not absolutely in love with it. We spend a lot of time to design this. Torsional tests and all the stuff, materials. Now, as the material goes, and again, to answer another question, or before someone asked why we're using stainless when we don't have to use stainless. True, this could stay mild steel as you can see it, and it still looks good, but now I want to use stainless. Now, someone says, oh, stainless is brittle, stainless is not good for structural design. Okay, now, before you're making a fool of yourself, all it takes is literally 5 seconds of typing on Google. 316 stainless, using 316 grade stainless versus mild steel. What it shows, doesn't even say it, is like hugely more stronger than mild. lifespan is superior in any way. This my 316 stainless comparison to my steel is superior in any way. When we're talking corrosion resistant, because again, corrosion, you see what happened with the older ones, with the original ones. The 316 stainless, if you just Google it, it says lifespan expectancy from 316 stainless is to be expected to be around 1,200 years. Now, it makes me laugh, sorry. Let's say, I don't think they had enough time to actually test it, so that is a theory from the scientists. But let's assume they are off by a couple hundred years. Doesn't mean that my subframe and my engine mounts are gonna last about 1,000 years. I think that's good enough, you know. But let's say they are completely wrong. They're off by 1,000 years. This shit is still gonna last about 200 years. So, I know this is funny. This is obviously way over-engineered, way too much, but is there such a thing? Now, in my opinion, there's no such a thing as over-engineered. If you make it way too difficult to build, way too difficult to use, that is over-engineered. This is not difficult to build for me. This has been my job for over 20 years. I love this stuff. I like it. If I have to do something simple, I don't enjoy it. If I have to build something like this, I do enjoy it. Now, another thing, this is very important. Companies who make, I'm not saying this product, I'm not trying to do any comparison at all. In general, companies who make kind of in between the product as a quality goes and as a over-engineered, not beyond over-engineered, just simple, they make more money on each product that I do. Do you know why? Because we prefer to spend more money into development, more money into the product, more money into the assembly, more money into the welding process. It takes way longer for not much more money in comparison. So the profit on each product for us is way less. Why I do it? Because we do this job primarily for passion, because we love it, right? Please understand this. And then the job, we're trying to make a living out of this. Living, have a food on the table, and have enough money to play with the cars ourselves. I mean, we're not doing this because we took a learn from the bunch. Oh, I have an idea for the business, fuck it. No, we're doing this because we love it. Both me and Steve. As a consequence, it developed into the business. Now, as a consequence of what we want to do, I want a VR5 with a DSG. All right, let's make a mount. Well, once I have a mount, I can put it on the market and try to make a living out of this. VR6 the same, 1.8 the same. Subframe is not very good. I'm gonna design a subframe. I'm gonna use it. Do you know what? This is my subframe. I want to use it this way. I put it on the market. Over the engineered subframe. I agree. I put it on the market. Someone wants to buy it, we buy it. We may as well make a living out of this if we're lucky, and have the money to play with this stuff and do more development. So again, passion first, work second. This way, we actually don't work. We enjoy ourselves. Yes, okay, past 2 years been stressful because, you know, trying to make a business out of passion and what we live in, it's not easy, especially these days, but we get it. So, anyways, this is the rant about the subframe. All the mods that I wanted to do has been done. You can see all the scrapping, all the stuff. As we speak, the final version is being designed, but all the rest has been checked, everything is correct, is spot on. So yeah, it's just gonna be way more beautiful because again, stainless and weldings, and we should be ready to take all this in. You know what? Fuck it. Someone actually suggested this. Only this is a decision I'm making right now as we speak. Someone suggested to do a kind of like a pre-order once. Offer them at the pre-order. They're gonna be ready in 2-3 weeks, but we can offer them a discounted price if people order them now. Let's say lucky, don't know, lucky 10 first 10 bastards gonna have the money discounted price as a pre-order. Why not? Okay, yeah. You want it? I'll deliver. Why not? Okay, let's do it. Why not? There you go. See you probably, no, next week. I'll make another video about the VR5, but that's later on because I don't have much time now. Enjoy it.